नमस्ते, प्रणाम, गीता ध्यानम्। ॐ पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम्। O Bhagavad Gita, with which Lord Narayana himself gave enlightenment to Partha, the ancient sage Vyasa included it in the Mahabharata. O Goddess, showerer of the nectar-like knowledge of non-dualism contained in your 18 chapters, O my affectionate mother, the destroyer of rebirth, I meditate upon thee. Krishna Vandana. Vasudevasutam devam kansachanuramardhanam devaki paramanandam Krishnam vande jagadgurum. Son of Vasudeva, the slayer of Kansa and Chanur, extreme delight for Mother Devaki, O Lord Krishna, the supreme teacher of the universe, my salutations to you. Srimad Bhagavad Gita, our reading from the 18th Adhyaya of Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, of attaining liberation through giving up. And Sri Krishna is telling us, he is now, from today's reading for the next 3 verses, Sri Krishna is going to tell us that how, he is going to tell us in brief, of course, he has told that, I will tell you in brief, how attaining that state of perfection, attaining that state of attaining that ultimate siddhi of Naishkarmya, how is equivalent to, as good as attaining the Brahmanhood. And that Sri Krishna is going to tell us. Now, how that siddhi is attained, how that state of Paramam siddhi of Naishkarmya is attained. Naishkarmya is doing away with all the formal duties, for that matter, doing away with involvement in the performance of duties. How that stage is reached, Sri Krishna has said, he has told us by giving up 3 things. Sannyasena adhigacchati, by giving up 3 things. 3 things we have to renounce. And what are those 3 things? Our intellect should become totally unattached, should be free from any attachment. Asakta buddhi sarvatra. That is, sarvatra is a main clause in this. It is not just detaching ourselves from a few things which we don't like, but at times detaching ourselves even from the things which we like, even for the things for which we have attachment, even for the things which we adore, even from the things that we admire. So, asakta buddhi sarvatra. Our intellect has to be detached from all those attachments which are surrounding us. That is one thing to be given up. Second thing, jitatma. We have to conquer our lower self. We have to conquer our senses, our sense organs, our organs of action, from getting into that desire of seeking enjoyment from the sense objects. The moment senses, they see sense objects, they just, they create absolute havoc. The moment senses, they get tempted by the sense objects, they get lured by the sense objects, then the whole process of downfall starts. So for that, to avoid that process of downfall, one has to gain that self-mastery. Doesn't matter, there are sense objects there, thousands of sense objects are around, but my senses are not going to be tempted. My sense organs and my organs of action are not going to get into that state of enjoying those sense objects. Let them be there. Let me see the divine in the sense objects once when I have controlled my lower self. Once I have attained that state of self-mastery. And the third sannyasa, the third renunciation is the desires. Sri Krishna said, Vigata Spruha. One should become desireless. So these three things Sri Krishna says, if you practice, if you implement the three things of the non-attachment towards everything, the asakta buddhi sarvatra, then self-mastery and becoming desireless. These three things, and you get to that state of becoming Naishkarmya Siddhim, of gaining that Param Siddhim, which is nothing but Naishkarmyam, and we are free. We get that supreme state of freedom from all actions. Now, Sri Krishna has told us that this Siddhim Prapto Yatha Brahma Tathapnoti Nibodame. Learn from me that having attained this Siddhi, having attained this state of unique perfection, the ultimate perfection, how it is as good as Brahmapnoti, how it is as good as attaining the Brahman, how it is as good as realizing the Brahman, how it is as equal as realizing the Brahman. Nibodhame samasena eva. Learn from me in brief. Sri Krishna has told us in the 50th sloka, Siddhim prapto yatha brahma tathapnoti nibodhame samasena naiva kaunteya nishtha jnanasya yapara. Now listen to this ultimate truth from me in brief. This truth of how attaining perfection is as good as attaining Brahmanhood, and listening to this, you will attain to that supreme knowledge. That is the ultimate consummation of all knowledge that I am going to tell you now. How? With these three things, you can attain the state of Naishkarmya. And this attaining the state of Naishkarmya Siddhi is as good as Brahmapnoti, is as good as attaining the Brahmanhood, is becoming one with the Brahman, Brahma Tathapnoti. So that is now what Sri Krishna is going to tell us in the next three verses that we are going to read, how one can attain the state of becoming one with the Brahman, how we can attain the Brahma Jnana, how we can attain the Atma Jnana. Sri Krishna says now, Buddhya Vishuddhya Yukto, Buddhya Vishuddhaya Yukto, Dhrutyatmanam Nigamya Cha, Shabdadin Vishayan Styaktva, Ragadveshau Vyudasya Cha. Sri Krishna says that with this purified intellect, having got rid of that attachment for all the things around us, that asakta buddhi sarvatra, having got that, having the intellect becoming totally detached, totally unattached, it is illuminating with purity. There is nothing that now the intellect is getting attached to, getting attracted by, getting tempted by. There is nothing that is attaching the intellect to the material things, to the things which are perishable. No more attachment. So, buddhya vishuddhaya yukto. Thus, having the mind, the intellect becoming purified, dhrutyatmanam niyamyacha. And since we have got to that state of becoming a jitatma, we have conquered the lower self, we have attained the state of self-mastery. Dhrutyatmanam niyamyacha, by firmness of that mind. Now our lower self is totally under our control. Niyamya is controlling, complete control of lower self. Now no more going towards the sense objects, no more getting tempted by those sense objects. I have full control. Now the horse is in my control. That the rein is held so properly, so tightly, that the horses will never go helter-skelter. Everything is under my control, because now I have attained the state of jitatma. So, dhrutyatmanam niyamyacha, the mind, the self, the lower self, is so steady, is so firm, and niyamya, totally under my control. Shabdadin Vishayans Tyaktva. Having given up. Tyaktva. Tyaktva is given up, relinquishing. Relinquishing what? Relinquishing Shabdadin Vishayan. Thus relinquishing even the sound and the other objects, the material objects, the physical objects. Having relinquished everything, having tyaktva, having given up my attachment to even the sound and the other objects, the sense objects. Now I am totally free. Totally free from what? Ragadvesha vyudasya cha. Abandoning the raga and dvesh. Now I have reached that stage of I am free from attachment. I am free from any attraction. I am free from any feelings of love and also dvesha, no hatred. No hatred, no ill feelings, no bad feelings for anyone, whether a person or a thing. There is nothing in this world that can attract me. There is nothing in this world that I will hate anymore. So this is what happens. Sri Krishna says, you once you reach that stage, then you get into the stage of the buddhi, the intellect becoming the purest of the pure, endued with the purest intellect, vishuddhaya buddhi, and dhrutatmanam, dhrutyatmanam niyamya cha. The self is totally under control. Once we become jitatma, Sri Krishna says, your self is so much under control that nobody can, nothing in this creation can distract. No sound, no sense objects can even distract them. Shabdadin Vishayans Tyaktva. Now I have given up any attention towards the even sound. It is not only the physical objects that distract me, even the sounds distract me. Sound doesn't have any physical form for that matter, but even sound distracts me. Suddenly, when I am doing meditation, some songs, somebody is playing music system, and suddenly in a loud voice, a song is being played. And that's it. That just distracts me. That takes away my mind from my chosen deity onto that object which is being described in that song. So even the sound, we have to, we get into that state where the even sound we can give up. Our attention towards the sound, our attention towards the physical objects. So whether it is physical or sound, that is immaterial for us because we don't get distracted by any of these distractions, whether it is sight or sound for that matter. Shabdadin Vishayan Tyaktva. Ragat Dveshai Yudasya cha. And abandoning the love and hatred for each and everything. We might have love for 90 things, hatred for 10 things. We might have love for 99 things, hatred for one thing. That hatred for one thing is good enough to doom us. That hatred for one thing is good enough to pull us down in the depths of hell for that matter. And the love as it is, the attraction, it is always, we feel it is good. But even the love is a pulling down factor. So Sri Krishna says all these things, they lead to getting into this state. Getting into this state which in turn are paving the way for attaining the Brahmajnana. So this is the 51st shloka that Sri Krishna told us how controlling these three, how giving up these three attachments, controlling the self and the becoming desireless, they can make us reach this first part, this first state, which is taking us towards the Brahmanhood, which is getting us towards the Atmajnana, which is bringing us closer and closer to the Brahmajnana, becoming one with the Brahman. A thing is said to be pure when it is unaffected by extraneous objects. The moment we are not distracted by extraneous objects, whether it is a physical object or a sound, we get into that state of attaining complete purity because there is nothing that can distract them. The nature of pure understanding requires to be looked into. It may be compared to a pure and even glass, a plain glass, clear glass, crystal clear glass. You look through it, you don't feel you are looking through glass. Everything is completely transparent, but a tinted glass. If we are looking from say a blue glass, a blue colored glass, and there something is kept which is yellow in color, we won't see that color as yellow if we are looking from a blue glass. That color, maybe we may perceive that color to be green, we may perceive that color to be a bit violet, but not the blue what it is. But just imagine if it is a pure, clear, clean glass, a thing we see in the true perspective. If it is a blue object, we see blue object. If it is a red object, we see a red object. But with a tinted glass, we cannot have. And therefore, we should have that purity. We should have, our intellect should have that level of purity that nothing gets tinted, that nothing gets distorted. The intellect is the instrument of seeing of Jivatman. Now, Prakriti has provided these various instruments for the benefit of Jivatman to realize the Paramatman. But with all the faculties being tainted, poor guy, this Jivatman who is imprisoned in it, whose the own personification is Satchitananda, can't perceive that Satchitananda. That poor Jivatman sees the things in the distorted ways, as against seeing Brahman in each and everything. Then that distorted intellect starts seeing this person I like, this person I hate. There is a distinction made between Brahman in each and every individual. In fact, each and every individual is filled with the same Brahman. But since my intellect is distorted, I can't see with clarity, I can't see the Brahman in each and everything. Then I find some people which I am so much attached to. Some people which I hate them so much. That kind of disparity happens, and we keep on remaining away and away and away from that ultimate truth. So that instrument, unless and until it is perfectly clear, perfectly shining, it is taintless, it is stainless, we cannot perceive the reality. So the instrument has to be in perfect shape. The defects in the intellect distort the vision obtained by the seer. So it is all distortion what we are seeing right now. We love some people, we hate some people. It is all distortion because of the tainted intellect that we are possessing. We have to go beyond this. We have to go beyond the raga dvesha. We have to go beyond the distraction by shabda and vishaya. We have to go beyond the distraction by the physical objects as well as the non-physical objects like sounds. And that can only happen when we gain that purest of the intellect, buddhya vishuddhaya yukto. When our Atman, when our Jivatman, when the lower self is so steady, so fixed, so firm and under control. The moment we have this, then we are not bothered by anything in this creation. Then all the havoc that Mahamaya is playing cannot disturb us, cannot disturb our peace of mind, cannot disturb our bliss, cannot disturb our becoming one with the Brahman. So this is the first shloka that Sri Krishna is briefly telling us how that ultimate state of perfection of getting into Naishkarmya Siddhi is as good as attaining to Brahmanhood. This is the first step. Second stage, Sri Krishna will explain next in our reading of the 52nd shlok. Till then, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Sri Krishna Arpanamastu. Jai Sri Ram Krishna. Jai Thakur. Jai Ma. Jai Swamiji.